I am Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. This week, we have a double reading, two different parshot in the Torah, Parsha Behar and the Parsha Bechukotai, both in the book of Vayikra, Leviticus. And I'm going to talk about something in the Parsha Behar in the first of these two portions. I'm going to talk about what the Torah tells us, the way that we should show concern for our fellow human being, show concern for others. In the first, in this week's, in the first week, the first of this Torah reading, the first of the two Torah readings, the Torah expresses the intent that we need to be concerned with others. And there are three separate commandments found close to one another. And these commandments are, first of all, the Torah commands us, Al tonu ish es achiv, do not deceive your brother. And the next one says, you shall not do any wrong to one another. If we see somebody falling upon hard times, we can't just ignore him. The Torah tells us, if you see your brother come under difficult times, you have to help him. And then the third commandment, which is in close proximity to these other two, says, Al tikach mi'ito neshech v'tarbis. Don't take interest. Don't charge interest to your brother, when you're loaning money. Don't take interest to get it back. And then it ends up with Yeresha me'elokecha v'chai achicha imoch. The last one about interest says you shall fear God and let your brother live with you. We're going to talk about these three different commandments. And then we're going to talk about why the last one about interest is the only one that says in the concluding part of the sentence, you shall fear God. You shall fear God. Let's talk about the first one. Lo toni ish es achiv. Don't deceive your brother. We would think, deceiving somebody, you might think, okay, we're not going to tell them a lie. We're not going to commit a criminal act, commit theft. No, deceiving somebody also involves deceiving somebody with your actions. For example, many people, especially this last year, do online shopping. Some people have the habit of seeing something online or seeing something in a catalog, and they really want to see what does it really look and feel like. So what do? They go into a store that sells that, and they want to look at it. They have no intention of buying anything in that store, but they just want to see what it looks like. Here's the poor merchant. He's waiting for a customer, and he thinks he's got a customer coming in, and you're not a customer at all. That is deceiving somebody. You're deceiving somebody, making them think that you're a customer and you're not. The Torah prohibits that. The same thing, just, and it's a hard concept. A lot of people like to do just, window shopping, going in and out of stores. There's a problem. If you don't really intend to buy anything, then you're deceiving that owner, and you should not do it. And there are two types of deception. You could deceive somebody with money uh, by overcharging him if you're selling something, or you can deceive somebody with not giving right advice, deliberately misleading somebody. Those are all under that commandment. The next one is when you see another in difficult times, we don't have the opportunity to just look away. You have to help them. You have to do what you can to help them. And the third one, don't charge interest, and that is followed by the words, Yeresim Elokecha. Don't charge interest, you shall fear God. Why does it say on that one? Specifically, that's the one you should fear God on. I think actually the concept of fearing God would apply to Altonu as well. Don't deceive him. Because if you're deceiving somebody with your thoughts, you're not really doing anything that he can see. Nobody knows. If you're cheating somebody, if you're uh, charging interest and he doesn't know about it, you're adding something to the price that is over above what it should normally sell for. That's charging interest, but you're disguising it as something else. Nobody knows about it except God knows about it. And it's teaching us that those things that only God knows, we have to be careful of. We have to realize that everything we do is recorded and is observed by God. There's a story that uh, Rabbi Shia Twersky, Zechariah Bracha, tells about the Chassam Sofer. Chassam Sofer was visited by a wealthy businessman once, and the businessman said, Rabbi, I have to pour my heart out to you. You know that I've been a rich man. I lost everything. I lost my fortune. I don't even have money to go to Pressburg where the market is. And the minute I don't show up for Pressburg, everybody's going to know that I'm totally without money and I'm out of business. And I don't know what to do. So I just need your advice. And the rabbi says, well, what does it cost for a ticket to Pressburg? He says, it costs 100 rubles. So Hassam Sofer reaches into his drawer, takes out the only amount of savings that he has, which is happens to be 100 rubles. And he says, here, let me loan you this. Let me give you this money. And the businessman said, no, no, Rabbi, I didn't come to borrow money. I just wanted to unburden myself and let you know the difficulty. He says, no, I insist. He says, Rabbi, I don't want to take this money. I insist you take the money. Okay. He takes the money reluctantly, goes to Pressburg, buys a ticket. People there think he's still a wealthy businessman. So he goes to somebody and buys, one day he buys a large amount of coffee on credit. The next day, the coffee goes up in price and he makes a tremendous profit. And this continues for the several days that he's there. He's buying on credit, selling the next day for a great profit, paying off all of his creditors. He becomes a rich man again. And he's so grateful for the rabbi. He says, I got to think of something I can bring to him. I'm going to bring him a beautiful diamond ring. So he comes back, goes to the rabbi, and he says, thank you for giving me this advice to go to Pressburg. It all worked out very well. And I want to give you this gift. So he gives him this ring, and the rabbi looks at it. He's kind of knowledgeable about diamonds, and he says, wow, this is a beautiful diamond. The clarity of it is fantastic. Wow. I've never seen such a beautiful diamond in my life. That is really gorgeous. And then the rabbi takes the diamond, he gives it back to the businessman. He says, here, you take this and enjoy it. But Rabbi, I want to give it to you. No, I can't accept it. I can't accept it. To accept it would be taking interest. So the man leaves. His Hasidim asks him, why? Why were you spending so much time looking at it? He says, because as a rabbi, I don't really have the opportunity to charge interest or avoid charging interest. But here I had the opportunity to avoid this, to do a mitzvah of not charging interest, and I wanted to savor it and spend my time doing it. That's how we should approach doing mitzvahs. We should pay attention to what we're not supposed to do and pay attention to what we are supposed to do. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat, and let's take these words to heart.